Hi, researchers. It's good to see you all again. Hoping that you went back and you did some of your own research and thinking about your sources. And just like last time, you were thinking about some different subtopics to go alongside your animal that you've been researching. And I've been thinking about some students that I've seen a little while ago. And one of the things that they did is they created a plan. And so in their plan, they were thinking first about like habitat and then hunting and food and babies and clubs, danger and talents and behavior. And I was thinking about kind of the plan that we did together the other day with body, habitat, diet, dangers. And I saw the one that they did here with babies, and it got me thinking that maybe I could also do some research on that subtopic, that maybe I could do some research on how penguins grow up. And so, researchers, today what I want to teach you is that really strong researchers synthesize information from different texts across the same subtopic. That they first think about what they've learned about the subtopic in one text, and then they think about the other text, and they connect that information together and add on to what they know about that subtopic. So let me show you what I mean by this. I'm going to first start by reading a snippet from Penguins by Bobby Coleman, and the section we're going to read is about growing up. And as I'm reading, I'm going to be thinking a little bit about what I want to take notes on. Growing up. A penguin chick grows quickly. Soon, both of its parents have to hunt in order to feed it. While its parents are away, the chick huddles with other chicks for warmth and protection. I didn't know that, but they all kind of come together. A group of chicks is called a creche. Creches are guarded by adults that do not have chicks of their own. These guardians are called aunties. Those are different than the aunties that I know. Several weeks after it's born, the chick loses its baby down and its adult feathers start to show. Losing down is called fledging. Sometimes scientists think fledging makes chicks grumpy. So let me think. If I was going to take notes on this first text, how would it go? So I've set up my notes, and in my notes, I have my subtopic, how penguins grow up. And if I'm thinking about what I just read that feels really important, I don't want to copy every word, but I know that the chicks huddle together. And the parents go to hunt. And then I also learned that a chick loses its feathers or its down. So I'm going to write down like loses feathers. So researchers, you probably noticed that I didn't write any complete sentences, that I wrote down a couple of words that go with the subtopic that I'm researching. So now I'm going to go into another text. I'm going to be thinking about the penguin, and I'm going to be looking for a place of this book that might have to do with babies and growing up. And I'm thinking that on this page over here, even though it doesn't say anything about penguins being babies, I do see a whole bunch of penguin babies. So let's just see what this part says. In the brood. By May, chicks that are well nourished by their parents weigh about 26 pounds, but by September, those chicks have survived weigh only around 13 pounds. I didn't know that before. What happened? All during the winter, young penguins stay in their colony, or they gather in groups called creches. Okay, that feels familiar. The adults leave to hunt and will not be back for 5 or 6 weeks. Wait a minute. Like, I knew before that the adults were hunting, okay, because the adults were away, but I didn't know how long. So I'm sort of thinking right now that this kind of fits together, because now I've learned that they've the adults are going to be gone for 5 or 6 weeks. That feels like I'm adding on to my new information. So let me take a look at my notes right here, and it says how penguins grow up, chicks huddle together, and parents hunt. Well, that new part from my book said something about 5 to 6 weeks. So I feel like I could add that to my notes. So I'm going to write down 5 to 6 weeks. I didn't know that before. Huh. Or that when I look at the book, it's that these penguins can be up to 26 pounds. Huh. I didn't know that before either. So researchers, do you see how I'm thinking about both of my texts, and I'm thinking, how does one text connect with the other text? And then I'm revising my notes so that my subtopic is now coming from different sources. Okay, so we thought about like 2 sources, but let's see if we can read another source. And let's just think, is there more information that we could add to what we already know so much about penguins so far? So how penguins grow up, chicks huddle together up to 26 pounds, parents hunt 5 to 6 weeks, loses feathers. Let's add another snippet from the book on emperor penguins. And in this section, it says new feathers. Let's think to ourselves, how can we add to the notes that we already have started taking on how penguins grow up? The chick travels with other chicks to the ocean to begin searching for food. The young chick must molt before it can swim in the icy waters, however. As the chick walks toward the ocean, it begins to lose its fluffy down. It grows oily, waterproof feathers. It needs to survive in the water. I didn't know that before. By the time the chick reaches the ocean, it has grown its waterproof feathers. It is now a fledgling. So readers, let's just think. How could I think about the notes that are right over there and add to my notes based on this new information that we learned about penguins that were growing up? What could we add? So I'm kind of thinking that we could definitely realize that these new feathers, they seem to be like oily and waterproof. We didn't have that in our notes before. Or maybe you were thinking that after a while, I didn't realize that the chicks eventually have to go to the ocean. That felt new too. Thanks for your help with that. So readers, as we keep reading, we're continually thinking about multiple sources and how can we connect the information across different texts. So researchers, today and whenever you go to research and you have your subtopic in mind, it's important that you think about your multiple sources that you have and you try to connect the parts of the text from one text to another text. And you think, how does that information go together? And you can add that into your notes. So right now, can you make a plan? What's the subtopic that you're going to research today? And can you do just like what I did? And can you think, what's the subtopic? And then go into your sources to take notes. And every day, you'll have an opportunity to keep working on this subtopic. Or if you don't find information on that subtopic, it's okay to go to the next subtopic. And as you're reading, you might even find more and more subtopics to keep researching. So today, keep up with your research, be thinking about your subtopics, and be thinking, how can I connect my different sources?